Hello, bonjour, ça va, and how are we today? It is Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025, here in beautiful southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the frozen shores of Lake Huron. Just finished doing my workout in my living room once a week, since forever, so many decades. I'm not even going to tell you how many decades I've been doing this. This is something, it's a habit. I work out in my living room 1 hour, 1 day a week, whatever day I choose. And that is part of my routine, my system of light for keeping myself very high and bright. So, yesterday I didn't finish all the different things that I do to help me to keep the energy frequency alignment high and good with my light team so we can communicate and correspond and progress. One of the things that I do that I forgot to mention yesterday is music. Music is the best, it's the absolute best. I have music going all the time in the house, in the car when I'm driving, and I have a whole set of songs that I like that keep my energy pumped and high and happy, and I sing and I dance around while I am in the house. So, there are so many things you can do to keep or elevate your higher light within you. That's what I'm hearing. But that's just an adjunct to yesterday's video. Today's video is about changing the thought sequence of the heart complexes. We come in here, we incarnate here on this planet, on your world, and we are birthed, and we become taught and trained by our family, by the school system, by the religious system, whatever, or even if you have a non-religious system. You have a certain cultural training. You have a certain way of thinking, of being prescribed to you from the beginning. You may have some past life memories as a child. They may be still encoded in your genetics, in your DNA, but pretty soon, if you start talking about that and you have unenlightened parents, shall we say, they will steer you away from that, and then you just become accustomed to, being, acting, doing what you're supposed to as society prescribes it for you. So as we age, it's more and more difficult to change our thought structures. By a certain age, we have a belief system set in place. This is very difficult to change. The older we get, the harder it is, just because of the number of years we've been so compliant with these beliefs. But when the beliefs are not true, what do you do with that? How do you know that? When you're taught something, you don't know what you don't know. There needs to be a time in our evolution, if you want to call it that, our progression in thought, where we start to see these perceptions, these beliefs for what they are, so that we can change them. When you have a computer and you have a new upgrade, you have to delete the old program first, and then you install or instill a new, totally different program that's better. That's what's happening to us, to you right now. We're getting an upgrade in our thinking, in our thought structures of light. So all along you've been thinking a certain way. Whatever that is, everybody's different around the whole planet. You've got a whole bunch of different viewpoints and thoughts and constrictions in your thoughts. And as these are unfolded and shown to you, you come to a crossroads or a point, a choice point as we like to call it in time, where you make a decision. I've just been shown that what I believed in was not real, was not true, now I have to decide, should I hang on to that? Will I hang on to that? Or will I explore this new truth, this new belief system, and go forward with it? And as you investigate it, if you decide, yeah, I want to know more about this new way of being, and as you research it and you become more accustomed to it, you train yourself in it, your thoughts are trained in that way of thinking, you become a whole new person. You unfold in a different way. So this is what we're speaking to you about today, about how to find your own way, or how to channel your own way into the higher, lighter reaches of time, because we are in a transitional time right now. We are in a new phase of time. We're leaping into the unknown for most of us who've never really been clear about why we're here in the first place. So many of these objections that you may have to spirit, when spirit gives you little messages and nudges, you should try this or try that, or view it this way. There's a different way of looking at things. You make a decision to shut that thought down or investigate it, go along with it. Wow, maybe I should check that out. Maybe, what if it's true? What if everything I've been thinking about hasn't been? Wow. A picture is coming to mind by my team, is highlighting a memory code from my childhood. So I'll go through that with you. I'll resuscitate that old energy code. I have older brothers. One of my older brothers, before he was married and had children, so this was quite a while ago, he had said to me one time, he had a peculiar sense of humor, okay, everybody's different, and he thought it would be really funny if, when he had children, if he taught his child different words for what we state the thing, the object is. So in other words, I'll get my glass of water here. So this is a glass of water. You would teach your child, okay, glass, and then inside water, right? He thought it'd be funny if, I'm going to teach my kid, that's a table. And I'm going to teach my kid that the stapler on my desk is a pen. So he thought that was really funny, that he would teach his child a whole different, basically, language, and then watch the child when they start school. And he thought that was hilarious. I was horrified. I'm a lot younger than my brothers. There's quite an age gap there. And I just thought, what? Like my mother's very common sentence, day in and day out, what is wrong with you? I think that was one of her favorite lines. Yeah, you kind of think that. But how could you be so cruel? Very judgmental thought there. But everybody has a different viewpoint. Everybody has a different sense of humor. Have you noticed that? Everybody has a different way of thinking, acting, talking, and behaving. And I just realized my microphone, I did not have it with me. So very sorry. I shall continue, though. All kinds of crazy things have been happening. This is like the third time I've tried to do a video. Oh, okay. I shall be patient and continue on. So now, of course, my brother did marry more than once and has children. And to my understanding, he never did that, thankfully. I'm sure the wife or the wives made sure that didn't happen. But that's my point. It's our point today. Everybody has a different way of thinking here. Everybody has a different viewpoint. Everybody thinks theirs is right and the other is wrong. Have you ever gone into churches every single church I've gone into, and I've been in a lot of churches over the past years. As you know, I'm not religious any longer. I'm spiritual, as I consider myself. And every single one of those churches, and they were all different denominations, they said they were the true church and everybody else wasn't. All the other churches weren't. So there's this proclivity to think that your way of thinking is right and everybody else is wrong. It's kind of a narcissistic approach, but that's the way we've been taught and trained and brainwashed to think, that ours is the only way. So when you try to undo the brainwashing, that's a difficult thing, because the concept is that your group, your culture, your family, your school, your whomever is the only right way. What does that do? It causes great division and separation on your planet when we're actually one. We're one spirit light. So we're moving into this time, and we are actually already in this time of oneness, of stillness, of peace and joy and love and light. But that comes from everybody understanding the truth and the reality of your system of light. And right now they don't. Excuse me. The furnace is on, plus I've got my wood burning stove, and the wood and the fire always seems to irritate my nose. The two of them combined, I don't know. So, anyway. Our thinking is being changed. It's underway of being changed. It's in a new system of light. So the forces on your world are making sure that you are going to keep to your higher insight. So the higher light beings are already here. They've been gravitating towards your planet for, I'm hearing to say to us, more than a year. The solar sunbeams of light have been sending their solar flares, their uplifting, upgrading of your spiritual essences of light, of higher light. Everybody has been participating, everybody in this universal stream of light, as well as the cosmic and so on and so forth, back to source, have been participating in acquiring this higher light. But it involves removing the old programming. Just like in your computer, you have to delete the old program before you can instill or install a new higher upgrade. That's what's happening to us. We're clearing out all the old cobwebs, all the old ways of thinking, all our cultural trainings, whatever viewpoint we thought was right. We're coming to the point of seeing that maybe it wasn't. And that's a good thing, because at least you're questioning. From there, it goes a lot easier, and it goes a lot faster after that. Because then at some point in time, you regenerate your higher conscious awareness through the pineal gland. It opens up and you start to see the true reality. And it wasn't like what you thought. It's scary to some, isn't it? You can see some people retreating back in their shell. No, I don't want to see it. No, I can't deal with that. No, that's their choice. But the newer, higher upgrades have already begun. They're already here. So those of you who have already stepped out of the old reality and are embracing the new are already in the new, higher upgrade mode of being. So out with the old, in with the new. But it's a new way of thinking. So it's a new thought structure. It's a new perception. It's a new area of alignment with your higher light. That exposes all the dark, right? We've talked about this. You walk into a dark room, you've got a little candle. I think there's a candle right there. You're holding your little candle, you're walking in, your light. You shed light in that dark space. You can see everything in the hidden dark little corners. That happens in the recesses of the brain. You pull out the old programs, you pull out the old traumas, you pull out all the old stuff from the past. Because as we've heard, the past cannot last. And then we view ourselves in a different way. We hold that mirror up to ourselves. I don't know, do we like what we're seeing? I don't know. Maybe we should change that. Maybe it'd be better if we changed that. Other people, as we have spoken about, will trigger you to see things about yourself that maybe you didn't know was there. They're shining their light into the dark recesses of your brain, and you're starting to lift all of that old, as we call it, disdain. Because those are the parts that you don't like yourself. You don't love yourself enough. It's not, you haven't been coming from your heart. So now is the time to be coming from our heart. That's how we get from here to there. Everything is heart structure. It's like a reconsignment of your higher light. And it's a beautiful thing. Why waste it? Go for it. Give it a try. See if you like it. Have a 30-day, return policy. If I don't like it, I'll go back to my old ways. You can always do that. Because you run you. Nobody else does. Right? You run you. You look in the mirror. Do you see something you like? Do you see something you can love? When you can, that's your higher spirit light stepping through and showing you how beautiful you are. How wonderful you are. What a beautiful spirit highlight being you are. Whereas we've been ground into the dust here to keep us down. So we didn't see our true beauty and our true light and our true vibrational sound. There are those who would love to keep you down. They feed off of your depression. They feed off of that emotional base of you hating yourself or not liking or loving yourself enough. Some of us turn to addictions, to bad habits, as some would call them. Overeating, you drink too much, you smoke too much, you dope yourself up too much, you drug yourself up too much. You gamble, you have a sex addiction, whatever addiction, it can be anything that is harmful to your health. You do it out of that repressed anger that you have been feeling about yourself and everyone else. And it can come in different forms. It can come in you feeling less than, as we've talked about for years, or it can show up as you feeling better than everybody else. It's a very narcissistic program you have running on this world, but we've shut that down now. Okay, higher spirit light beings have deposed that energy. And we're disposing of it now, individually. So clearing yourself, as we've talked about before, helps to clear everybody else. That's why the growth comes from within. It comes from the heart chakra. It doesn't come from the lower 3 chakras. That's a misalignment in the lower fields of light. Okay. If somebody's putting you down, and that makes you feel even less than, then ask, why is this happening? My favorite question, as you know, is why. I ask why about everything. Well, this is the way we do it. Why? Why do you do it that way? Most of the time, people don't even know why. They've forgotten. My mother would tell me all these rules. You have to do this, you have to do that. I go, why? My brothers would accept it and do it. And I would say, why? She didn't like that. She couldn't remember why. My mother told me to. Why? What's the reason behind it? Prove it to me. I'm not opposed to doing this or that, but I'd like to know the reason why. There was never any reason given. What's up with that? That's brainwashing. You're doing things and you don't know why you're doing them. Can you not think for yourself anymore? Come back to yourself. Come back to your higher light. Check in with your heart structures and the thought structures of the higher mind, and let the past go. The past does not last. We're in a higher stream of light now. You can't hold on to old energy that does not have any space held for it anymore. Right? It's a done deal. It's gone. If you cling to that, that's the route you will follow. It will disappear at some point in time because there's nothing to hold it in that space. There has to be a certain alignment with the higher light to hold you in that space, or it just doesn't happen. So liking and loving yourself comes from heart structures that have been open and unfolded for you to see and view and feel and hear and know. When we don't feel good enough about ourselves, we don't feel good about anybody else. We're not going to like other people too much. So do things for yourself where you feel good about yourself. I dance, I walk, I go out in nature, I do all these things that I've talked about before to keep my frequency high and me happy and up. I do all this for a reason, because Spirit Light wants me to feel loved. I have a part to play in that. I am shielded a lot from lower light or lower energy frequencies. Yes, I forgot to mention about the addictions. When you lower yourself through your addictions, over time, that low energy attracts low energy beings of low light. And it becomes very difficult, becomes twice as hard to get rid of the addiction. It's best if you didn't start in the first place. So it takes a lot longer, a lot more effort to clear yourself of any addiction because of the attachments of the lower, darker energies or entities or fields of light that are wanting to keep you down. They have an agenda. They like it when you're low. All right? They feed off of your energy fields. When you're high and happy, they don't like it. How many times have I been seeing this lately, especially lately? I'm happy, I'm up, I got lots of energy, walk in and everybody's down and out, and it's just like, I can just feel them shutting me out. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. I've had people say that to me, not this year, but in past years. Oh, you're too much. It's too much energy. I can't take it. Can't take it. So one of two things, they shut you out, or they say and do things that they hopefully will get you to be low and miserable and join their group as well, which I won't do. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. It's your choice. Everything is a choice. Everything is boundaries. So learn to love yourself more. Open the heart chakra. Look in the mirror. I love you. That takes a bit because we've been so trained to feel that we are not good enough. We don't look good enough. We're not smart enough. We're not whatever enough. We don't make enough money. We don't have a fancy car and house. I don't know. Whatever. Fill in the blank. Our bodies aren't good enough looking. Seriously? We have beautiful bodies. Treat them that way. And then the more you love and appreciate your body, the healthier you become, because You get rid of the addictions, because if you love something, you treat it well. If you love your children, you treat them well. So when you love your body, you treat it well. You don't overeat. You don't drug yourself up. You don't do all these harmful things to the body. You feed it good, healthy, real food and pure water. You get your sunshine. You go out in nature. You do these things that the body requires for its sustenance. And you love yourself. I'm hearing another example to give. I was, a while back, I was at a dance, as usual, dancing with someone. I was given a compliment at that dance. It was very nice. Isn't it nice when we receive compliments? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you can tell when they're sincere. And it was a lovely compliment. And it was interesting because after the compliment was given and I said, oh, thank you, and I smiled, then this flash of anger came across the person's face. And the next comment was, oh, but you already know that. I know who I am. I know what I'm like. Yes, I know that compliment was sincere and it was true. And I just smiled in response because, yes, I know the compliment that you gave me was true and was real because I know that about myself. The person didn't seem to like that I knew that already. And it took me a while to figure out why the person had this angry look. Some people give compliments as a manipulative tactic so that they can manipulate you in the future. Sometimes people think that they, like themselves, that you or someone else receiving the compliment actually thinks less of themselves. And that if they give a compliment, then you're going to like them. And then you're going to maybe, be more susceptible to doing what they want you to do in the future. But if I already know who I am, and I accept that as a true compliment because I know that about myself, then I cannot be manipulated. Because I don't feel less than. I feel that I am who I am. And we're all equal. And I'm equal to the person giving me the compliment. But if you have the thought sequence, the old way of thinking and being, that you're less than, and if you compliment a person, they'll be dependent on me telling them how good they are or whatever. And so later on down the line, if I remove that from them, then I can control them. It's a narcissistic tactic. The narcissistic ways are pretty much done here. It's just a few more years of ridding that template here. And then it'll be totally, completely wiped clean from your planet. And then it'll be more of a thought structure of giving and helping each other and supporting and encouraging and motivating rather than dragging down, putting down, judging, criticizing, trying to get somebody angry or miserable or mean. Takes time, doesn't it, here in the time capsule to eliminate all those old thought structures of the lower light. I think, we've covered everything. Is there anything else? No, it's just the thought structures of the higher light are taking flight. God bless. We give you peace, love, and light. We are speaking to you from our higher angelic might and our solar light. So my solar team, sun beings, solar beings from the higher central sun. And that was basically the messages coming down through their thought structures today. So bottom line, we're creating a new thought structure on your world, on your planet. Higher, lighter, brighter. It's going to lift you up more, be more supportive, be more positive, be more like cheerleader, almost rah, rah, rah. We got you. It's going to be good. You're going to like this. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to come from your heart chakras instead of the lower ones. The meanness will disappear. The division, separation. It'll be a glorious time to be here. So blessings, everyone. Take care of yourselves and others. And if you wish an appointment with us or a session, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca and book your appointment there today. All right, well, we'll speak again. Bye for now.